if there's, so Melissa wanted me to talk about what can we do to feel better psychically and spiritually, right, Melissa? Yeah. And so, because we want to avoid politics. Well, Aries does say you have to do something. Well, one thing, and there's going to be soon a great attack on all the trees, and plant a tree. If everybody here planted a tree, we'd have several hundred more trees. Plant a tree and plant drought-resistant crops, because in 1 year, Saturn and Mars will join in Aries while Jupiter's in Leo, I believe. And that's going to be much hotter than now. That's going to be a real apex for global warming and droughts. So start preparing now, get water saved up, and you get big things for that. You can do, your protections actively, but spiritually, what can you do to help yourself and help the world? You can actually do something very effective to help the entire world without leaving your door, something John Dee knew about back in Renaissance England. You can build and create beautiful shapes in mosaics, in paintings on the ground, in paintings on the wall. Use 3s, 6s, and 9s, but not 3 6s together, obviously. Now, you can see what they do in India, yantras. They sell beautiful yantras at Amma's ashram in India. You can purchase them on the web. And they're not religious. They are beautiful intertwined shapes that the light can shine through. And your window, and this makes in photons, making beautiful shapes all through your house. These shapes are protective. Now, you can intentionally build beautiful shapes to help restore harmony to the earth, because the destructive forces have gotten on top. And somebody hired a guy up the block. They're having a party to build a giant, gorgeous, harmonious yantra on the ground. And it remained there for weeks. And every time I had to drive over it, every time I walked by or drove over it, I felt good. It changed the vibration of that whole block. John Dee, it was said to have gone up to the Isle of Man. I just found one reference to this. And he built hexagons, which is one you don't want to use because 8s and 4s create conflict. They create wealth too. That's why they're very liked in certain systems, but not for what we're doing. He built hexagons all over the ground, is what I heard. No, hexagons are the 3. No, those are good. 6s. Yeah, those are good, not octagons. Those are good. And to help protect England from the arrival of the Armada. We all know what happened to the Armada. We don't know if it was what he did, but so it was the same concept. Now, you can also, it has to be intentional. You are doing this to influence the earth. You can play beautiful, beautiful music inside your home. Every time you play music, it goes out and affects everybody in the whole neighborhood and then the whole world. So think about what you're playing. And also, you can make paintings of the earth protected by green, all green, protected by 2 hands, not touching it. You can draw pictures. If you're an artist, you can take photos or pictures of certain species like elephants or whales, and you can put them under protection. You can make them all happy. We don't know how much butterfly wings flapping on this side of the earth can affect a storm on the other side of the earth. But there's an interesting, I'll do one more story, then we have to move on. In, is it Black Elk Speaks or something? There's a book about a very famous Sioux shaman. And I knew the guy who traveled with him. He's now departed. And in this book, he describes how to get rain to fall when there's a drought, the shaman would find a stink bug and tickle the stink bug, and the drought and the rain would come. And so the reporter didn't believe it. And so the guy said, well, let me show you. And there'd been this terrible drought and the Native Americans were all around. So they got the stink bug and they tickled it. And within minutes, clouds appeared and rain fell over exactly their area. So I got to thinking, how could this work? Well, we have fractals. We have fractals, and fractals are, we have major shape like in any pine tree, and then the branches and the sub branches and the sub branches, just like your capillary system. And
Mhm.
every species has its own little fractal or way of wiggling, and so do you. You're an individual with your chart. We're fractals of our birth time. So the tiny part of the fractal, the little tiny capillary, can vibrate, and it can actually cause a vibration to go up and affect the big side of it.
Mm.
The big side of it, just like in World War II, they would tell when the soldiers would cross a bridge, they tell them to break step, because if they all kept the vibration going, the bridge would collapse just by those little soldiers crossing. Vibration is everything, folks. So you can make a vibrational picture that starts a little vibration that actually can become very, very significant. And this is why intentional art is intentional spiritual art, very, very important. These are things you all can do. You can use photographs if you can't draw, and make your house a little temple. And don't watch the news while you are eating and digesting. And these are a few things you can do to keep yourself sane. I also highly recommend at least one day or two. I take two, completely eat free. Be a free spirit. Don't be a slave. Don't.
Thank you, Judith. This is like amazing. And do
Yeah.
you know when you started telling that rain story, it started raining here, right? When you were telling the story, I was like, it was like the heavens opened and it was like, ah.
Well, and people are going to mock you if you want to take an e-break. It doesn't matter. You need your psychological peace.
Yeah.
And so your psychological peace comes before anything else. You start there and then you build out.